Well, it started snowing first thing this morning, and it is supposed to snow till tomorrow sometime. Yeah, so they're still calling for about 10 inches of snow, so we'll wait and see what happens, but we got to go do our morning chores real quick. Taking this today. The other one's blocked in by the tractor. So I topped off this hay feeder yesterday. I had it up there pretty high, so hopefully that'll last till tomorrow. We'll go ahead and open up the chickens, but they probably really won't get out of the barn. They usually just hang out here when it's cold inside. This is Rebecca's idea of morning chores right here. Petting the cats. So you guys aren't going to hear much out of Rebecca this morning. She's not wearing a mic because it's too early to talk to people. Okay, she hasn't had probably her 2 cups of coffee yet. Look at Ellie, she's got snow on her. Oh yeah. Hi boys. You guys look like you've been standing out here for a while. There's our bulls, Tyrone, our rental. You're gonna bite my finger? You are. And there's Oliver, right there. Yeah. Tyrone, it's just my hand. And it's probably greasy gloves too, you don't want that. So Rebecca's in here trying to fill up the water trough. You about got me. There is a heater that goes in the very bottom here on the side of this, and this is plugged into a GFCI outlet, and so is that light. So if for some reason this GFCI trips, that light will be out and we'll know it, and we need to know it or else this will freeze up. Morning, Maya. You're pushing the cat? Find a little bit green there, didn't you? Yep. Show me that morning face. No. Can you look at the camera? No, it's too early. Yeah, Rebecca, she typically don't show up in videos till after 10 a.m. So the heavy snow today, I think, is going to be around noon, so we still got a little bit of time before we'll probably plow snow this afternoon. And this blade right here that we put on the other day, I want to try to do a modification to it, and I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do it now that I'm looking at it. But a lot of people, you see it all over YouTube, hundreds of videos, where they'll put a round pipe at the bottom of this blade so it doesn't have a sharp cutting tooth. And then it'll allow you to push this loose snow around and not tear up your driveway and like push all your gravel with it. So I want to try to do that to this blade. But looking at it, the design of it, it's got this L shape that comes off the back. Most of the time when I see people do this, it's just a straight blade and they can cut a slit in the pipe and then slide that pipe like over the blade. So I'm not sure if my idea is actually going to work on this one. But we can go ahead and see if we'll try anyway. We got a little bit of time. And I ended up buying a 2-inch diameter pipe a few days ago, and there's no way that that's hardly gonna slide on there very far. So I think that pipe's too big, so I'll probably end up taking it back. It was expensive, like a 10-foot piece was like 75 bucks. It's a lot more than I thought it would be. So in here in the garage, we got it packed full of our vehicles, but I've got this bay over here freed up for us to work in, and I'm trying to warm it up with this kerosene heater. Go ahead and turn it off so you can hear me. So this is the 2-inch black pipe that I ended up buying, and the outside diameter of this I think is 2 3/8, And if I was to put this on the blade, you want that blade to go all the way down and like seat in the bottom. Well, that blade, that cutting edge only sticks down maybe 3/4 of an inch. Doesn't stick down very far. So I found 2 short pieces of pipe, and this is 1.25 inch diameter, probably a little bit better suited to put on there. So that cutting edge is about a 1/2 inch thick. So what I think I'm gonna do is take a plasma cutter and I'm gonna cut out about a 1/4 inch strip right down this pipe. And then that way we have to basically wedge this piece of pipe onto the cutting edge, and then hopefully it will stay in place. If not, we might be able to weld on some mounting tabs, but that's the plan. I'm gonna go ahead and get the plasma cutter out and start working. So there's a little seam here on the inside of the pipe, and I'm going to mark that on both ends. That way I know that I've got a perfectly straight line down it. All right, you can see the strip I cut out of the pipe. It is fairly jagged, being cut with a plasma cutter. But I think I can just take an angle grinder and I can straighten that up just a little bit. So now let's see if we can get this stuck to the blade. Yeah. Ooh. This cutting edge has been welded together, so there's a big hump of weld right there. Well, the blade is not straight, it's bent, so that's another problem. Well, with it being bent, this is not going to work out real well. Oh, I had it so almost halfway. Go big or stay home, I guess, huh? I'm about to give up on this project. Oh, it's kind of on there. All right, I got the pipe on there. There's not much for it to grab a hold of. And it's only about halfway down the blade. So now I gotta make another pipe to go on this side. All right, time to cool this pipe down. Use the snow to cool it down. So I cut the slit in this one a lot wider, so hopefully it goes on a little bit easier. We'll see. It's not going to cover the whole blade. You can tell, hopefully you can tell, see how this comes out to the side? This blade is curved, and that this would be so much easier if it was straight. It's actually going to go on. Well, get to the very end and it don't. Well, you can tell that this side, the pipe went on a lot farther. It's not seated in the bottom, but compared to like that one, it's barely on the blade right there. So what I'm afraid of is as soon as I start to try to push snow with this, I'm gonna pop one of them pipes right off of there. So I think for a little added insurance, I'm gonna grab a stick welder and we'll put a couple beads of weld on each one of these pipes to help hold them on there. And they'll be easy enough to just take a little grinder and then we can cut them off of there later and take them back off. It won't be necessarily permanent. All right, we're just gonna unhook it from the tractor real quick to weld it. All right, we got our pipe secured to the bottom. We got a little gap in here, but like right here is where it bends. So you might be able to even see it in the camera. It's got a curve to it. And with that blade being bent, there's no way I could have got one piece of pipe on there. I would have really had to force that on there and bend it to match. So we'll just see how this goes. This is more of an experiment, I guess, than anything. So I think we got about 3 inches of snow so far. And yeah, I'd say about 3 inches. So I think I'll just go ahead, since the tractor's warmed up, I'll get the blade where I want it, and I may just go ahead and do one path over the driveway and then check on the livestock. So this is a 7-foot blade, and I'm gonna put it at the maximum angle. Well, we'll look at how it's doing. I don't know if it's going to show up on camera. There is a little strip right down the middle where there's a gap in those two pipes. But looking at the driveway, it really doesn't seem like we've disturbed too much gravel. You can tell we're moving it just a little bit, but it's not like dug in. The one thing I don't like about these grader blades is when you pivot them, you're not the full width of the tractor no more. So I may try to lift this up and we'll see if we can offset this over so that we're scraping more closer to the actual sides of the wheels here. So there's not a lot of snow on the driveway right now. There'll probably be more in the morning after it snows all night long, but we can at least get it dressed up a little bit tonight. All right, I've gone over the driveway one time and the blade doesn't work perfectly. It still disturbs the rock pretty good, and it seems to do it worse as I'm turning the tractor. And I think that helps the blade as it turns. It's instead of pulling forward, it's almost like cutting in from the side. So as we look at this, you can see like all of this is disturbed gravel. You can see it all through here, but it is pushing the gravel. Like this is all just gravel mixed with snow. You can see all the gravel mixed along the edge. And as we look at this, it's mostly right here where we're turning. The blade's angled like this, so I think it's kind of cutting in as it's coming around. But if you look on the straight areas, it seems to do fairly well. The pipes on the blade aren't like a perfect solution, but I mean, overall, when you look at the entire driveway, it's still probably better than just using a grater blade without them. All right, let me pivot it this way. That way I'm not driving on the wrong side of the road. So now that I've got our driveway not looking too bad, I think I'm gonna take it out onto the road out here in front of the house. Doesn't look like they've cleaned it all out there, and they probably won't clean this road until tomorrow or Tuesday. So I think I'll just go ahead and probably do about a half mile on each side of our driveway and just kind of clean up the road a little bit, make it a little bit better for everybody. So I plowed the county road here. I went back and forth twice to be able to get the full width of the road. And I thought the blade did fairly well on this. I mean, it didn't get it like perfectly clean, but it skimmed it right off the surface, and it sort of guaranteed that I could plow the county road and not worry about accidentally like damaging the pavement or whatever with the blade. And I did about a 2-mile section here, and I'm sure the neighbors will appreciate it being plowed, at least the ones that have to drive on this road to get back and forth or to get home. But right now, it was snowing real good when I was plowing that, and it was it's covering the road right back up after I did it. But now, it's feeling more like little ice pellets instead of snow. So that's probably not good. So it may be changing a little bit to ice, but it's going to get dark here soon, so maybe it'll go back to snow. But it feels like more of a mix right now. So it's 4:30 in the evening now. It's time for us to go do our evening chores. But I can tell just from the sound of it hitting everything, it's definitely changing more to little ice pellets than snow. So that'll be interesting to see if it gets any worse or not. But so far it hasn't been too bad. I mean, we really haven't got the snow that I've expected, and everything's gone fairly smooth except for like working on that blade. Every time you work on old pieces of equipment, it never goes the way you want it to. Has it been long enough now you can be on camera?
Yes.
And talk on camera?
Seems like ice now.
It is, yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
what I was just saying. It's ice. It's switched to ice.
Yeah. We don't have a wiper, windshield wiper.
Yeah, we do. I got one right here.
Hello, good evening. Hello, Tyrone. Hi, Maya.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, there's a baby. He's trying to stay warm, laying down.
All right.
You guys are being smart, I guess.
Yep. You guys are in here out of the wind, I guess. That's Tyrone right there. I'll go in between you guys.
You're pretty snow covered.
So for us to come in this barn and all of these guys stay in here and none of them try to get some distance between us, you definitely know that it's cold. There's a lot of them that don't want to get too close to us, but definitely bad weather when they stay in here. Tyrone, you always want to come up here and drink while I'm trying to fill this thing up.
How low was it?
Only like 4 inches or something. Tyrone, you're a slurper. All right, Rebecca's guarding the door.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay.
Good evening, everybody.
You need to get that sheep out of that feeder.
She likes being in there. I need to fill up this water.
There he goes. Got a submersible heater in there. That's what's keeping this one thawed out.
You girls gotta get out of the way. You gotta move in the barn or out of the barn. Pick a side. Okay. Oh. There you go. Oh.
All right, we done?
Yep. Try to close this back up a little. Hold a little heat in.
Well, I think we did what we could today. And the big question will be, what will it look like in the morning when we get up? Could be a lot of snow, could be some ice, or it may end up looking about the same, who knows? But we'll just have to wait and see.